Previously on Hang Up.
I'm feeling mad vibes, by the way.
Maxine got to spend some quality time with each of her callers. They played games.
And 3 points for Gryffindor.
Drank a lot of alcohol.
There are 4 high noons in this container because you already know that I can party.
And dug deep.
What about you feels hardest to love?
But in the end, Osprey got the hang up.
There was a lot of bird talk.
And we asked our remaining callers if they'd rather take the vacation with Maxine.
I would definitely want to pursue things with Maxine.
Fuck that money.
Or the cash prize.
I would probably take the cash at this point.
I think it'd just be kind of easier on both of us if I took the money.
Welcome back to Hang Up, a reality dating show with no rings attached. I'm your host, Zakiya Gibbons. Here's how the show works. Every week, our star Maxine goes on a themed date with each of her callers. All of these dates happen exclusively over the phone. The star and her callers never see each other, and at first, can't describe how they look. And they all change their names, so they can't find each other outside of the show. The callers have only one date per week to make themselves heard. And if they can't establish a clear connection, they risk getting the hang up, eliminating them from the show. The star hangs up on one caller each week. This week, 4 callers remain: Sasha, Sabo, Kai, and Charlie. To stay on the line, they must win over Maxine. And in the end, the winning caller has a choice to make: an all-expenses-paid vacation with Maxine, or hang up on her and take a cash prize of $1,000. The theme of this week's date is Phone a Friend.
Hello?
Maxine is dialing in someone else to take her place. They'll go on their own date with each caller, then recommend who she should hang up on next. Who will stay on the line? And whose connection will be dropped?
Yeah, I think he's probably next. It was honestly just a coin toss between him and Osprey.
Find out this week on Hang Up. Hi, Maxine.
Hi, Zakiya.
You don't know how excited I am to hear how your dates went. Because at this point, you've had 2 dates with the callers. And on this last date, it was their chance to curate a date to impress you. So let's hear who was dialed in and who phoned it in. Who do you want to start with?
So, Sasha.
I was trying to draw inspiration from somewhere.
Ooh,
I
see where you're going with this. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I get it.
Maxine Shaw.
Hell yes.
Yes, she's amazing. You know what I mean? Just
yes.
Beautiful, stylish, smart, just a
Yes.
little erratic,
Spicy.
all of these.
Everything. Yes.
Yes, everything.
Yes. Yes. I love all of that.
Sasha did well.
Yeah?
It was a cardboard box, and in it there was even, I noticed in the bottom she had put some sort of platform a little bit to hold everything up so that it would be the right height. I just appreciated these little things.
Yes.
There was a laminated instruction about how we were going to play this card game she had included. There were 4 high noons.
Okay.
I really like high noons. They're my favorite seltzer. So that was good.
Ooh.
I feel like we vibed.
Ooh. Would you say that it was friend chemistry or romantic chemistry?
I felt at least some friend chemistry and maybe a little bit of romantic chemistry.
Were y'all flirting at all?
I feel like there was a little bit of flirting.
Yes. Okay, let's move on. How was your date with Charlie?
All these things are things that I like to have at my house, and that I like to have specifically for game nights or for company or just late night snacking. Yes, I do have candy, even though I'm a dentist. It is what it is. I like it. Leave me alone.
Charlie was also, he did well, I felt, with the box too. So he
Okay.
had 2 high noons in it.
More high noons.
Yeah, he had like a handmade version of, I guess it's called Taboo. So like it was cool. That was also like fun. We played and I like wasn't very good at it. And even at the end, he was like, "Hey Maxine, like this has been like really fun and everything, but like honestly, like I don't know about having you as a partner for like, playing these kind of games. Like you're really gonna have to step it up." And I like appreciated that like even in this situation that we're in, he was like down to like be a little silly and like razz me a bit,
Yeah. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this group of people, they're all so kind and funny in their own way, but I know you like a little snark. You like to be roasted, like a little playful back and forth. So that's good. So were there any yellow to red flags on this date?
It was like a weird offhanded thing. We were like, we were going for points like in the Taboo game. And then I like told him how many points he had. And then he was like, 3 points to Gryffindor. And I was like, wait, do you like Harry Potter? And then he told me it's like something he does, like, that it's like cool, like background noise or whatever. And he had also mentioned that he was doing laundry like while we were talking. So then he was like, like sometimes like when you're doing laundry. And then I was like, were you watching Harry Potter before you got on the phone with me? And he was like, no, which like was funny. Like it's hard to ascertain if he was just joking.
He's a closeted Harry Potter stan.
Yeah, but he does like Harry Potter. That was real. That was part of it.
Okay, but I'm just flashing back to how you were like, that's just corny. I don't like that. I don't want that. And then he was like, 3 points for Gryffindor. Like, was there a part of you that cringed or that you're kind of like putting that in the back of your mind?
I didn't love it, certainly. Yeah, that wasn't great. He didn't make it sound like it was like a giant deal to him, but I guess time will tell. You're going to meet, and then he has like a big Harry Potter chess piece.
And also another thing that I have not forgotten, he's a gum chewer.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about he has 2 of your no-goes?
Yeah, there are some things happening with Charlie that aren't great. I admit he's on the list of like, potential issues.
He's like lower on the list?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. How about Sabo?
For the main event, I love playing this game. We're not really strangers. So I put some cards in there. I know what they say, but I figured I would leave that up to you to decide like which cards you would want to pull and kind of both of us could kind of talk about them.
Sabo's date was also really good. There were like little notes attached to everything because they were describing like how they would want to do kind of like a picnic kind of scenario or like, just like an outdoor thing because that's like their favorite deal.
What did y'all talk about on this date?
So they also included a game that's like, it's called We're Not Really Strangers or something along those lines. The questions were like a little bit like emotionally inappropriate. Like one of them was, what do you think is the hardest thing about you to love?
Oh, wow.
And it was just like, ugh. Okay,
get into it.
Let's get into it. Yeah, and so but it was a nice way to see how another person like thinks.
Yeah.
And like where their like emotional intelligence is at.
Right. It sounds like you all talked about like deep things. Tell me about what it was like to share these deep life ideologies with someone you haven't even met in person yet.
Yeah, I think it was like super interesting. I haven't like been in a polyamorous relationship before. I've had like, casual relationships, but I don't think it's like to the same capacity. So it's interesting to talk to them about like how they feel about it. And like some of the things they were saying were so like just nice. Like I think they were talking about at one point the idea of like being able to figure out how to love someone best. You're not expecting like everything from one person, which was dope. Like I think that's like, an interesting facet that I haven't experienced.
So it didn't feel like too much or too fast. It felt right to talk
no,
about these
because I
things?
love to be like inappropriate on like early on to be like, what happened between you and your ex, and do you feel like someone was at fault? Like, what were your parents like? Have you ever been to therapy? Like, I want to get that stuff like out of the way. I think it's like it's just a good base because some people are psychos.
You're like a direct communicator, and it sounds like Sabo is not only a direct communicator, but is like willing to talk about the real shit and not skirt around the issue. So that's a really good sign for compatibility. That's amazing.
Yeah, I did really enjoy talking to them. I liked our whole date and like how they had like set it up a lot, and I thought it was very cool.
Okay, let's move on to Kai.
I really want to travel. I've actually never been out of the country, so I really do want to go. I actually like just got my passport.
How was your date with Kai?
Okay,
the silence. What does that mean?
Kai was an adventure. He was like, so I figured, I love traveling, which is something he had mentioned before. It's definitely something I wrote. And he was like, I figured we could just like talk about our travel stories and like, just that could be the 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, cool. So like not a big game plan on, but this guy must have like been a lot of places. And he was like, so I actually like just got my passport. So I haven't been out of the country yet. And I was like, okay, well, where have you been in the country? And he was like, I've been like all up and down the East Coast. It's like pretty cool. I don't have a great deal of travel stories. I've been places, but nothing like extraordinary. So that was like pretty quick. Not 30 minutes worth of conversation.
It sounds like he put all of his eggs into one tenuous basket.
Just wasn't the vibes. Like this kid tried, but I didn't like it.
So you didn't like your date with Kai?
No, it wasn't good. It wasn't what I wanted from it.
Do you think he can redeem himself, or are you like, he's at the bottom of the list and he's going to have to work some magic to get back to the top?
Yeah, I think like he's probably next. It was honestly just like a coin toss between him and Osprey.
A coin toss. Okay, well then let's talk about Osprey.
I marked a couple birds in there. They're all just little profiles about if, we were to meet and you were to come with me birding sometime.
How was your date with Osprey?
So Osprey, the box smelled amazing. I just want to point out, like, immediately I just felt, like, warm and, like, relaxed. And they also, like, included a little piece of orange cake that they had baked with their roommate. And then a couple books, one of which was, like, about birds. And then they had, like, earmarked some specific birds. And then they, like, just kind of, like, talked to me about said birds.
Mm-hmm.
What's your reaction to the thing I just said?
Okay. My reaction is that sounds like someone talking to you or at you about something they like, but I'm wondering, like, how can you engage for it to be a back and forth conversation? And I'm like, does Maxine even fuck with birds like that? To be like, yes, let's talk about birds for a date, So I'm just, based off the things in the package, I'm questioning the compatibility.
Yeah, I just, they talked about the birds and I'm not a person with like a great deal of hobbies. So I feel like if I'm going to be with someone who like has hobbies, which is, likely, if they're just going to talk about something in excess, it probably has to be something that I can at least be like a little bit interested in.
Right.
And I like legit, like it was so like nice and soothing between like the smell and then I just eaten like a piece of cake and then like they were just like talking about the birds. Like I like almost fell asleep and I was like, that was cool, but also just not, that's not going anywhere. Like when your hobbies make them sleepy,
Right. Yeah. That is not a green flag.
Yeah. So it was just like, it was like very nice and I appreciated it. And I was like, man, somebody who is kind of like more on their wavelength, like this is perfect, like for somebody, but it's not me.
So were you just acting like you liked everything to be nice?
Well, I like objectively respected and do respect how interested and passionate they are about birds, But yeah. Beyond that, like mostly just like, yeah, just listening and being polite.
Right. Well, you seem like such a straightforward person. Like with the gum chewing, you're like, fuck gum chewing, spit that shit out of your mouth right the fuck now. So with this date, why wouldn't you be honest and upfront and be like, honestly, I'm not digging the bird talk?
Because I didn't know what else we would even talk about. I was like, this person is so into birds. And like, I don't know where we're going to go. And there's still so many minutes left. So I might as well just let them finish up with this bird talk.
You felt pigeonholed. Because it's true. It's hard to vibe with someone where it's like, oh, okay, this is what's on the agenda, I guess. So now that you've had like a couple dates under your belt, have you developed any romantic feelings for anyone, or at least the seedlings for romantic feelings for anyone?
I think that it's like on the table for Sasha and Sabo and like maybe Charlie.
Okay.
But we'll see. There's still
Yeah.
many weeks ahead.
Okay, so that means Kai still needs to prove himself.
Yeah. But I am open to being surprised.
Okay, so let's get into the next date.
Okay.
So now we're at the point where your dates are going to the next level. The 4 remaining callers are going to be introduced to your inner circle for the phone a friend date.
Hello?
Have you chosen which friend or family member you want them to talk to?
I've chosen my brother.
Ooh, okay. You both came up with a pseudonym for your brother. What are we calling your brother?
He did. Marcus.
Great. Maxine and Marcus. So why did you choose your brother Marcus?
We're very close. And I genuinely think like my brother's one of the smartest people I know. He's able to kind of like retract in a way where he can understand things like a little more logically, whereas like I am like pretty logical, but I also like tend to get my emotions like invested pretty early and will, make excuses and stuff, but he'll just be like, no, like that's not right.
Oh, wow. What a great big brother.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Love him.
What has he thought about your past relationships and dating? Like, does he tend to be approving or disapproving?
So one time I introduced Marcus to a guy I was dating, and then the guy like went back to his truck to get something, and then I was like, so like, what do you think? And he was like, yeah, I mean, it's just like all the other ones. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And he was like, well, like objectively hot, but kind of like low ceiling intelligence wise.
Okay. Has he ever really liked someone you've dated?
He really liked the worst guy I've ever dated.
Wait. Twist. Why?
Yeah. They just bonded. They were really similar in age. This was like a really interesting period for me. So I had brain surgery a few years ago. So I was in the hospital for like 10 days, and my now ex was there. He stayed in the hospital like all the nights with me and was like there like all the time. And one day, Marcus and I were talking about him, and I was talking about like our next steps, and like I was like taking care of him, and it was a terrible relationship, and I was like, we're gonna have to find him a place to live and a new job and like all this stuff, and I'm like going on, and Marcus was like, yeah, I just I want you to really, he like took a deep breath, and he was like very like collected, and he just like explained to me that he wanted me to focus on what I was going to do next and like how I was going to take care of myself to the best of my ability, and how it maybe wasn't the wisest decision to be focusing on taking care of this like very able-bodied adult when I had just been through this like very serious thing. But he did really like that guy.
He really liked this guy that you say was your worst relationship. How can you trust his opinion?
Well, because he was a huge manipulator, and he was like very charismatic, and just like for all the reasons that I loved him, I'm sure that Marcus like really messed with him, but also their interactions were like relatively limited. But that was the only one that he like actually I think like liked. Like he took like one of my boyfriends to go play basketball with him, and I think he like they kind of messed with each other until he did something that Marcus didn't like in front of him.
What did he do that Marcus didn't like?
I was hanging out in Marcus's apartment, and he was like texting me like trying to like get my attention, and I was like, yo, I'm like with my brother, I can't really be doing that with you right now. So he like came by to like grab something, and then I think as he was leaving, I went to go like be friendly with him or something, and then he like slapped my hand.
What?
It was like, yeah, it wasn't good, and obviously Marcus didn't like it, and from then on it was kind of just like, whatever you want to do is fine, but like
honestly, I'm with Marcus. Maxine, it
wasn't
like,
good.
Now that I'm hearing all these stories, I'm like, these boys sound like scrubs.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever dated a good guy.
I don't know all the callers very well, but it seems like they don't. They sound like they're different from the people you tend to date. After your brother talks to all the callers, he's going to tell you who he thinks you should hang up on, but you don't have to take his advice. Do you think you will?
I probably will.
What if like Kai and Marcus really hit it off? Like they have wonderful chemistry, and then Marcus is like, "Oh my God, Max, why the fuck are you going to hang up on Kai? Like, he's the homie." Would his advocating for Kai sway you, or are you ultimately just going to go with your gut?
No, I think it would sway me. I think that I will rely pretty heavily on Marcus's vote.
Okay. So what if the reverse happens? You're saying like Sabo and Sasha are at the top of your list. What if Marcus comes back and is like, Maxine, I hate Sabo. Then what would you do?
Then maybe they're gone.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Marcus could be a wild card in this game. Like,
yeah.
Marcus could really switch everything up.
He could.
Any plans for this week while the callers are sweating on the phone with your brother?
I'm going to Vegas.
Well, have so much fun. You'll get the updates when you come back.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'll talk to you when I get back.
After the break, Sasha, Sabo, Charlie, and Kai get grilled by Maxine's big brother. Stay on the line. Welcome back to Hang Up. Maxine's big brother is just about to go on his own date with each of her callers. But there'll be less flirting in this round. At least, I hope, for Maxine's sake. He's going to ask each caller some tough questions to see if they're a match for his sister. And ultimately, he'll tell Maxine who she should hang up on. Let's dial in to hear how the callers handle the pressure.
Hello?
Hi, I'm Sasha. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm Marcus. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. So, how do you know Maxine?
I'm actually Maxine's brother.
Oh, snap. Pressure's on.
Okay, so I want to know a little bit about your relationship with optimism.
I'm a chronic optimist. I have a problem. I'm telling you, it's bad. It's like the walls can be caving in, and I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. We will make it. It's okay. I really do.
Why do you think you're like that?
I had cancer when I was 21. So that was
oh my God.
Yeah. That was like a big blow. Like right when you're like almost at your peak of not peak of adulthood, but like your peak of like, you know, adolescent adulthood where you think you're the shit and, you know, life's going good. You're like, yeah, I can drink now and all that. Yeah. I spent a lot of that time like rebuilding. So maybe that's like a part of it too. Like, somebody tells you, hey, you got stage 3 and it's growing and you might not make it. You definitely can't have kids. And here I am, 12 years later.
Oh my God, 12 years ago. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, so could be that.
Seems reasonable. How do you see kind of like the next 10 years unfolding for you?
Oh my gosh, no you didn't. That is a hard question, sir. I don't know how to answer that.
That's what I'm here for. That's literally my only job here is to ask you hard questions.
That's a hard question. Okay, all right, I see. Okay. Yeah, really, honestly, I hope to get a job that I like doing that pays me a shit ton of money. And also, I want to be able to say I've been outside of the country a few times in the next 10 years. I hope to, at some point, find the love of my life. Maybe that's happening now. Who knows? And yeah, just like make a place for myself, if that makes any sense.
For sure. Yeah, I feel that. Who's your favorite comedian?
If you want me to run down a list, I got you. Like, Kathy Griffin, for one, she's really funny. Lisa Lampanelli, she's hella funny. Oh my god.
Oh wow. That's OG. Oh man, I can't believe you said Lisa Lampanelli. That's so hilarious.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sweet. Well,
yeah.
Awesome. It was great talking to you. Thanks for taking some time for me.
Heck yeah, it was lovely meeting you, Marcus.
Sounds like Marcus is coming for my job, asking those tough questions. Let's see how he does with the next caller.
Hello?
Hi, how's it going?
I'm Marcus.
I'm Charlie.
So how's everything going? What you up to over there?
Just packing things for tomorrow, for work.
Okay. Well, that's pretty sweet.
It's not.
How
it's
often?
super
How
duper
often
lame.
do you work?
My schedule's pretty regular. I do a 9 to 5 basically, and then on occasions I get call, and it's usually just people with emergencies.
Oh, fascinating.
You think so until you get enough of the calls. I'm a dentist, right? So, like, there's not a crazy amount of things that I could do on an emergency call.
Nice. So how are things, you mind if I ask you, how are things going with Maxine?
They're pretty good. She's quick as a whip. Honestly, I do like our banter. Yeah, I think on this kind of dating program, I think what I care about the most in someone, specifically in this case Maxine, is that I don't have too much of a tough time talking to her. She'll reciprocate kind of the flow of energy. So I think we got some weird inside jokes now, which is she seems to think that I'm super into Harry Potter. And and I could care less, man. I really could. But because she keeps pushing it, it's the hill I'm going to die on now.
Oh, that's so funny. So what are you actually into?
I like all different things. I'm just tapped up on the superhero stuff, and so I've been actually doing a lot of like old movies.
Oh, cool! Like
when
what?
I say old movies, well, I recently rewatched some Robin Williams films, like Patch Adams or what was that Vietnam one? Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah.
Movies like that.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. What do you typically watch? You got any good movie recs?
I watch superhero movies exclusively.
I can't tell if you're fucking with me.
No, I'm just messing around with you.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so you're gone.
And that being said, it was nice talking to you. Goodbye. Oh, that's so funny. Are you into comedy at all?
Yes. Love it. But I know that a lot of it has been causing a lot of controversy. So I'm just very careful about what I say I do and don't like. Yeah, very careful.
It's dangerous territory, huh?
Well, yeah,
so who's your favorite
I'm
comedian? That being said,
you know who I will say this, and I think most comedians have a lot of controversy. I think Dave Chappelle is so good. I think he is such a fantastic storyteller.
Nice. Would you say you're an optimist? What's your relationship with optimism?
I would say I am a realist, bud. Boy.
I love that, a realist. Like, so you take every situation kind of for what it is. I guess I'm curious, like, what's your natural inclination? You know, is it kind of to be pessimistic, to be optimistic? Like, how do you deal with just general adversity?
Yeah. Ooh, all right. This is like interview time. I love it. This is like job interview stuff. I have been very blessed just because I am not the smartest cookie out there. And, but I do think about things ahead of time, and I like to think about, possible outcomes, scenarios, and all that stuff. And I don't think if it's good or bad. I mean, it is what it is, right? But I do have a tough time dealing with things that kind of deviate from my plans. And, that's something I'm working on, is kind of c'est la vie.
Nice. That's a good answer. Cool, man. Well, Charlie, it was great talking to you.
It was great talking to you and semi-meeting you, man.
Dave Chappelle? I wonder if Charlie's as into him as he's into J.K. Rowling. Let's move on and hear what our next caller has to say.
All right, hello. Great, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Right on. My name is Sabo. What's yours? Sabo,
nice. I'm Marcus.
Yours? Marcus. How do you know Maxine?
I'm her brother.
Her brother. Got the family involved. That's what's up. I almost asked her, how long have you guys known each other now? But family.
Long time.
Yeah, are you the older brother or younger brother?
I'm older.
Older? Okay, cool. Are y'all very close? I would assume to some degree with this involvement.
Yes, we're very close. We're super close.
Right on. Very cool.
Yeah, what do you think of her so far?
So far, I think we've got some cool things in common, both being bartenders and all that. I think there's just a very easygoing energy going on there, so that's been pretty fun to explore. But I guess I'm curious to learn more about her through you, though. I feel like as much content as I think that I have, I don't really have a whole lot. I was thinking what would really paint someone's picture in a way that makes sense to me? Would you describe Maxine as an indoor cat, an outdoor cat, or an indoor dog or outdoor dog?
Ooh, that's good. I really like that. I'm gonna go with indoor dog.
Indoor dog. Interesting.
I like the way you phrased it because it reminds me of my dog, and which I kind of call or she calls him kind of like a stoner dog because he's just down for whatever, he's perfectly content to just chill and watch TV all day.
Right.
But he loves going out on walks, It's still
of course.
His favorite thing is still to go out on a walk.
Of course.
And I would say that's her, She was she will be very content to chill, but can also have a great deal of fun outside.
Wow. Great intel.
What animal do you identify with?
I think I'm definitely an outdoor dog. Just being one of those farm dogs that is just maybe, I know where I live and I'm there, but I'm also that dog who has a double life chilling at the neighbor's house. I get treats there too. The whole neighborhood knows about me and they're just there's that dog. But I had no collar, independent, free, but would come inside, for storms, etc. Because who am I to turn down some warmth and food, all that good stuff.
Oh, that's what's up. Who's your favorite comedian?
My favorite comedian? Okay, that's easy. Have you ever heard of Sam J?
No, who's that?
You gotta go check her out. She's this black queer lesbian who has her own show on HBO. It's also rare, I feel for me to see queer comedy, so to see someone who would do it and just do it so just spot on without even no hesitation, just not even like putting anyone down, but just saying it how it is. I think that's probably been the most refreshing like comedy person I've seen in a very long time.
So, would you describe yourself as optimistic?
Oh, absolutely. Probably to a fault. I do have to like often check myself.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
What does that look like? Like, do you have an example?
For example, I was driving. So stupid. I was driving. I saw this billboard. It was like, yo, Mega Millions, 22 million. I was like, holy shit, 22 million. I just had a dream the other night where some child in my dream told me the number's 2002. Holy shit, maybe this is like my time to shine and like play the lottery. And I go to the Wawa and like I go and I get it. Think like I'm gonna make this Wawa famous. Like it's really gonna pop off. I get the ticket. It prints out. It says, "Oh, the drawing's on April 22nd for 2022." I'm like, "Holy shit! I gotta tell everyone it's about to go down." Like I'm so like mentally and physically like feeling it. My stomach dropped. I'm like, "This is it. I've been waiting for this moment." Like talking about it for like 3 days, and of course I didn't win. I would tell you if I did, but no, I didn't. But just like in that moment, I can get very caught up in like, "Holy shit!" This is it.
Right. This is going to be a bit of a tonal shift, just a heads up, but
right.
I was reading this article the other day, and they were talking about how due to global warming and climate change, like a lot of animals are like being displaced from their regular habitats and are like moving closer and closer into human habitats, you know, basically, which basically the point of the article was that there are going to be like more pandemics. That being said, knowing that this is what the scientists are talking about, how do you remain optimistic knowing that's what's happening in the world?
God damn it. Maybe it's, you know, a cup of delusion in there. I don't know. I guess it's just, I'm not really too worried about it. Not like because I don't care, but because I know that like whatever comes in the future, like I can't really worry about that. Like it's just what's in my face is what's in my face. And I'll just trust that whatever shit I've got going on will continue to thrive and like I'll be ready for that when it comes.
With that being said, how do you do with people that are a bit more naturally pessimistic, like the way I am?
Great question. I think that was also part of like what ended my last relationship. I feel like there's a line drawn where it's like you can be who you are and be pessimistic and all that stuff, and I can be who I am over here, and like we can be like best bros. But at the end of the day, it's like managing your own like spillage of like those feelings and like managing like your own sense of like self-care as you're coping with those kinds of feelings. I think we all have our own like, sense of responsibility to be accountable for that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't say that it would be horribly incompatible. It would just be, you know, some shifty waters we could figure out for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. Are you trying to suggest that Maxine is like that as well, or just something that you kind of brought up that you identify with?
I'm not suggesting anything.
Okay.
No, I'm trying to get a lay of the land as far as you know, how you navigate things.
Right.
Are you into dating shows? Is this your kind of first run-in with them?
Yeah, actually. I mean, I tried getting on it's not my first try to get on. I've always been super fascinated. I've like gotten through like the first or second round for like some auditions and all that, but nothing's ever really like landed. This is definitely like the first one where it's coming into fruition, and it's very, very silly that we're all like doing this. Like, wow, like this does feel like organic dating, and it also just like does not, of course, but it's fun.
Yeah, that's dope. Well, I'm good. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So how open is like your family to like sexuality in general, and like with what your sister is identifying at?
They're all pretty chill. Everyone's cool. Yeah, we're a pretty like non-judgmental family.
Word.
Yeah, at least for something as something like that, you know.
Right.
You'll get judged, but it's gonna be for something you fucking did, not for your sexuality or anything like that. You know?
You're right. You're like, don't be a dingus, but yeah, go ahead and be gay.
Yeah.
Got you hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, it's great talking to you, Sabo.
All right, take care.
Sabo's trying to get on other dating shows? Sounds like this outdoor dog likes to roam. Let's see if our next caller will stick closer to home.
Yo.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Kai.
I'm Marcus.
Nice to meet you. So, how long have you known Maxine?
Pretty long. Basically our whole lives.
Wow. So are y'all related, or is she just like a close family friend, or?
We're related. She's my sister.
Oh, that's awesome. So do y'all do like a lot of stuff as a family? Like, do you see Maxine a lot, or how often would you say you guys like kind of get together?
Yeah, I see her very often. I see her usually every week at this point.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do you subscribe to a more kind of traditional outlook as far as family and stuff? Like, is that something you're looking to build within the next, half decade or so, or is that kind of not even on your mind right now?
I mean, it is on my mind, but also at the same time, I'm definitely not one of those people that would rather force a situation just to, hit some goal or milestone that I've had in my head. I would much rather have it naturally accumulate with the right person to be what I want to do. I want to do something. That's why I'm actually like switching jobs right now and getting like a remote job so I can hopefully try to, travel around a little bit. If not live somewhere, go and stay places. Obviously, yes, I don't want to be 45 having kids or something like that, but I'm open to having kids. I'm open to not having kids too. It kind of depends on being with the right person and find kind of what works for us.
Sure. I feel that.
Yeah.
Have you done any traveling with like your partner?
Yeah, I actually have. So my ex, we did a lot. We were dating during the pandemic. Just took it as an opportunity to kind of go travel and see a bunch of things. It was like we went to D.C. a bunch, Florida, Alabama, Texas, like all the beaches up and down the East Coast, like Outer Banks, Hilton Head, Wilmington.
That's what's up. Oh, yeah. So what happened with that relationship? It sounds pretty sweet. How did it end?
Yeah, we dated for about 2 years, and she cheated on me. So I told her straight up, lose my number. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I just basically walked away. She's tried to kind of get back together, but it's just, once I feel like something like that happens, it's kind of hard to go back to normal. You don't really like look at those people the same way. Yeah. So just kind of moved on. She's moved on too. She's pregnant now. So I think it's kind of for the best for everybody. So
right. Sounds
happy.
Like it.
I'm happier on my side, I think. So.
Nice. I think I have one more question for you, and then I'm all set.
Awesome. Yeah.
Who's your favorite comedian?
Oh my gosh, dude, this is my favorite question that I have received this entire contest so far. Okay. I love stand-up comedy. This is going to be so hard for me to pick a favorite because I literally follow all of the top comedians. I would have to probably say either Tom Segura or possibly Mark Norman. I'm so glad that you asked me that question, but now I have to ask, is Maxine into comedy or are you into comedy? I just kind of wanted to gauge where my thoughts were at.
That's a great question. Both actually, but Maxine, I'll give you a tip that I haven't given anyone else. She's very into comedy.
That's awesome.
And you answered pretty strongly.
Wow, that's definitely exciting. I'll definitely have to ask her about that. But it's been great to talk to you and kind of get an outside perspective on everything, kind of get to learn a little bit more about Maxine. Really appreciate it.
Sounds good, man. Likewise. It was great talking to you.
Next week, Maxine is back.
That's an amazing answer.
I know.
Yo!
She'll get the 411 from Marcus on all of her callers and hear who he thinks should get the hang up.
Oh, did someone gasp?
Then she'll make her choice to either take his advice or hit ignore. But that's next week. For now, we're sending you straight to voicemail.
Hello, you've reached the Hang Up voicemail. Leave a message at the...
Hey, it's Sasha. I think it went really well with Marcus. I hope it went really well with Marcus. You guys know how to throw people for a loop. This is crazy. You know, I thought I had it figured out. And then, yeah, go and meet the brother. Right after the second date, meet the brother. Cool. All right. I hope he tells her that I'm great and that maybe she'd want to date me.
This is Charlie. I was talking a lot. Damn, the whole time. I was trying to step away from that, but he kept pushing it. So I was like, sure, if you let me talk, I'll talk. Yeah. As far as what I think he'll say to Maxine, maybe that I'm a little boring.
This is Sabo, and the call with Marcus, I think, and I hope for him as well, it's pretty enjoyable. I guess, if anything, I was just mostly nervous about it not feeling like an interview versus a conversation. And I guess I'm just learning to accept that that's just always going to be the bit of the awkward kind of flow in this circumstance. So overall, I think it went really well.
I think things with Marcus went great, honestly. We had an awesome conversation. At first it was a little tough, not really sure what to talk about with, a girl's older brother. It's always been a tricky subject for me, but just excited to kind of keep moving, and hopefully Marcus had some good things to say about me.
Hang Up is created and produced by me, Caitlin Pierce. Our host and story editor is Zakiya Gibbons. This episode was mixed and sound designed by Ben Montoya. Ben is also our story editor. Music by Jeff Carter and Stephen Pathé of Sandy. Hear more at sandy-sounds.com. Art by Alex Tuschel. Studio recording by Eric Elterman of Boomtown Studio, Kieran Kay of Full English Post, and the ICA Community Media Center. Our sounding board is Allison Behringer, Carla Corrales, Chiokia Jansen, and Graham Vickers. This episode uses mini sounds from Freesound. For the full list, check out our show notes. Hang Up is a proud member of Radiotopia from PRX, a network of independent, creator-owned, listener-supported podcasts. Discover audio with vision at radiotopia.fm.